I'm Emmanuel and welcome to my workbench and welcome to another Monday mixed hunt, another coin roll hunt. Today I am going to be hunting nickels and loonies. So we're going to start with the nickels. I see some King Charles obverses here, some older ones in the loonies. Set those aside and let's have a quick look at the nickels. Yeah. Oh, we got an American ender. That means these have not gone through the alloy recovery program. I got my list of things to look for over here in the nickels. Now, I don't expect to find anything really old here, but in the more modern ones, of course, the 1970 and the 2000 with the P composition mark just off camera at the bottom of the screen here. These are the semi-key dates, of course. Be fun to find some oldies, but let's get right into it and start with roll number 1. These are machine wrapped. The ender on one side is from the 70s, 1979 to be exact, but let's see what else is in this roll. Well, we have a beveled edge, and that means that we have a dime from the 60s there. We have some older edges as well, so let's see what we can find. Well, we have that one find with the beveled edge. This is a laureate portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and we have a 1962. Now there is the version, let me have a quick look at my mat here. There is the doubled date version for the 1962. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to look under the, look at that under the 2. If I turn it 90 degrees, do we still see it? We don't see it anymore. So I find that if you think you see doubling, like right there under the 2, it looks like there might be doubling there, but you turn it 90 degrees. Oh, maybe there is. Maybe there is. I'm going to set this one aside and let's put it up here as a find, but we might have found a double date 1962. That is awesome. Roll number 2, we have 2 modern enders. No beveled edges on this one, but we do have an American in this roll. Now, last week, I did find an NIFC 2017 dime with the regular strike, which is of the blue nose. Will we find an NIFC nickel in this hunt? So let's go ahead and see the 2 that I have to show you. So of course we've seen this one before. This is the one with no date on the reverse, and we have the double date for the Queen's reign for her Golden Jubilee, 1952 to 2002. We have the P composition mark saying that this is a nickel-plated steel core. We have the, let me do my math, the 60th anniversary of the end of World War II. The 60th anniversary of the end of the World War II, and this borrows a design from that era with the V nickel. Very, very cool. I like this design as well. And we have our first American. We know that there's an American ender. This is a 2023 Philadelphia, a more modern nickel. And it is the modern nickels that I generally need to fill holes in my collection. More often than not, when I get a nickel from the States, it is an older date. It is the newer releases that I have a harder time finding. This one has no special enders. I don't see anything special on the edges. Nothing of note in this roll. Moving on to roll number 4. Nothing on either of the enders. Nothing on the edges either. We have another nickel from the 60s. This is in 1963. Nothing on the board for 1963. And we have another laureate portrait. Very cool. Roll 5. We got some older edges here. Let's see what we find. Well, this older edge that I saw was only a 2015. Here's another older edge. That one was from the 80s. No finds in this roll. Roll 6. Let's see what we can find in this roll. And nothing in this roll. Moving on to roll number 7. Still haven't found the one that has the American ender. I'll try to be careful and not get this one to explode all over the table. Nothing in this roll either. The Royal Canadian Mint has not issued too many commemoratives in the nickels. I did have an opportunity to speak with some employees at a gala evening that I got invited to, that they did for members. Well, we have another beveled edge here. And I made the suggestion that there's a missed opportunity to use nickels as a template for commemoratives and colorized coins. We haven't had a colorized nickel yet. And, you know, they took down my suggestion, but I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. I'm sure it takes years of planning and design before we get any kind of new nickel. What I did suggest, though, is I think the UK did it, and I think either Australia or New Zealand did it, where they had commemorative coins. And here's the American ender here. This is the roll with the American ender. So let's look at what we have before I continue my talk here. This is a 2006 Philadelphia, our second American, and we have another laureate portrait with the beveled edges. This one is in a little bit better condition. You can see the laurel leaves there, though there's a scratch across the Queen's face. And we have a 1959. That is awesome. And I had suggested to do a series of alphabet coins, much like the UK and I think it was New Zealand or Australia. I always forget which one. And where each of the coins features a letter of the alphabet. And they would also feature with that letter something that represents the country. So A might be for Canada. A, we have a lot of apples, so A could be apple. I don't know. B could be beavers, which we have already on the nickel to begin with. M for maple syrup, and so on. But I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. And we have a semi-key. Here is the year 2000 with the P composition mark. We can see down here, this one is just under 5 million minted, and this is a semi-key find. That is awesome. This was roll number 9. We have one roll to go. It'd be nice to find something from the 40s or even the 30s. I don't find those guys too often. A King George would be really nice to find. What do we have in this roll? Any beveled edges? No beveled edges. There are a few older edges though. Here's one from the 70s. And that is it for the nickels. We have 2 American nickels and a possible doubled 1962 to check out. So let's get going with the Loonies. I am still looking for the uncolorized anniversary of the Canada Supreme Court. Let's see what we can find. A lot more commemoratives, of course, in the Loonies and Toonies. A lot more things to see in these coins. All right, we got our first colorized hit, and this is the Anne of Green Gables L.M. Montgomery commemorative loon. Beautiful design. The potato fields of Prince Edward Island. And we have another one to scope. There is a 2010 large and small bead variety that I will set aside over here to scope to see if we have the variety. Roll 2. We have another colorized. We have the anniversary of Alexander Graham Bell, his 175th birthday. Very cool, colorized version of the coin. We have a Lucky Loonie, a 2004 Olympic loon. Now, for the Los Angeles Olympics in the United States, we have produced Lucky Loons, but Canada, or the Royal Canadian Mint, has decided not to make them available for circulation. You can only buy them in special mint-wrapped rolls. Here's a 2006 Lucky Loon for the Winter Games. And here is a loonie commemorating the tomb of the unknown soldier, 1994. Very cool. So if I ever come up across the that Lucky Loon for the 2026 games, then that will be for the Winter Games. That will be in, I said Los Angeles. I meant the Winter Olympics. Of course, Los Angeles is not for another 2 years. Well, that one is only not for circulation, unfortunately. And we have another hit with the color. This is a really nice design. The, what is it, 75th anniversary of the establishment of the UN Charter. Beautiful coin. Beautiful design. That is awesome. And we have another Olympic loonie that is full of rust spots. This design was used both for the 2012 Summer Games, which this one is, and the 2014 Winter Games. That is awesome. Roll number 4. We'll have a lot more hits in the Loonies, at least more significant hits with the, each of these colorized coins have been minted at 2 million. The non-colorized versions are at 1 million. One more lucky loonie. This is the 2016 Summer Games loon, either landing or I think or taking a bath or something, flapping its wings. I like the details in the feathers on this design. Too bad it is a little bit grungy. Roll number 5. We have another commemorative to look at, one we don't see too often, but this is the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Canada's national parks. The first national park was established in 1911. Now, I don't know if it's our first park was established in 1911 or if the Government Department of Parks Canada was established in 1911. Very, very cool. I like that design. Roll number 6. After the release of this video, I will be leaving at the end of this week for Calgary to go and attempt to make the Canadian national team in karate. I'm going to record pre-record another coin roll hunt for the weekend that I'm going to be away, of course. These are all pre-recorded in advance, but I know generally when my release dates are. So wish me luck. And we have 3 more commemoratives to look at. We have the 1 million minted anniversary of the Klondike here, 1896 to 2021. So that's what, 125 years of the Klondike Gold Rush. 1 million minted, but this coin is in really poor condition. I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to send it back. We have the design we've seen already for the 2012 and 2014 Olympics, but this one is the 2014 dated coin. And finally, the 100th anniversary of the Canadian hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Very cool. We're on roll 7. We have another 2010 to look at. I'll put it with the other one. And we found another 2010. So we have 3 2010s to scope, and we have another commemorative to look at, and this is the Terry Fox 2005 commemorative. Now, there are varieties based on dye deterioration, in which you look at his shin levels there. You're going to be looking at the grass to see of any wear in the grass. You can probably see the details there, so this doesn't look like it's a variety, but I'm going to scope it anyways. And interesting fact, Terry Fox is going to be featured on Canada's future $5 banknote. Sir Wilfrid Laurier, who is on the $5 bill presently, will be moved over to the $50 bill. And Sir Robert Borden, who is on the $50 bill, I don't know what's going to happen to him, if they're going to move him to the 100, or what's going to happen with him, if they're just dropping him altogether from our banknotes. I would actually prefer, I just knocked my seat here. Let me make sure the camera is still the framing is still good. I would actually prefer on Canadian banknotes if they decided to go ahead and remove politicians from our banknotes altogether. Other than our sovereign, of course, I think there there should always be a banknote. At least I don't mind having a banknote with our sovereign on it. He's already on our coins, but it would be nice to see. Oh, this is a really nice 2007. Let me set it aside to compare with my book. Yeah, so it would be really nice to have other people on our on our banknotes, not necessarily just politicians. Here is another lucky loonie that we found. This is for the Vancouver 2010 Winter Games, and it is dated 2010. Very cool. Roll 9. A really good hunt so far. Lots of colorized coins, lots of coins to look under the scope for varieties, including a possible double date nickel. We have another commemorative. This is the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the woman's right to vote in Canada, 2016. Very, very cool. Final roll, roll number 10. Will we find another colorized coin? Will we find another low mintage coin? Will we even find a foreign? I look at the edges because the edges of Canadian coins are beveled, but the American coins are not. So sometimes there can be a Sacagawea or another American dollar coin mixed in. It's happened once, I think once or twice I found them, which is always fun to find. And that is it. No finds in the last roll. So let me go ahead and take all of the ones that I want to go scope over here, and I will be right back. And I'm back. The other loonies were just regular variety loons, but this coin is indeed the double date 1962. Let me show you a picture here on screen. As you can see, there is clear doubling there under the 2, and as well you can see a little bit of a doubling at the bottom of the 6, and I even rotated it 90 degrees to make sure, and indeed it is the doubled coin. That is awesome. So now let me see if this one upgrades the one in my book. Let's have a look. This one does have scratches on it. The 2007 is this one over here. So let me have a look off camera here. No, the one that I have in my book is in better condition. So this one goes back to circulation. Well, we had a really good handful of colorized loonies in this hunt. That is amazing. Let me check my US album for the 2023 there. So here's my US album. 2023, I do have the Philly and the Denver. As you can see, I'm missing the Philly for 2024 as well as the Denver for 2025, and I don't have any 2026s yet. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. The giveaway for this month is winner's choice. There are 3 coins up for grabs that I found last week coin roll hunting. We have the Solemn Toonie here for the Queen's Passing, and we have 2 colorized, the Nunangat and the Daphne Ojig. So I will draw the name of a winner, and that winner will get to choose which coin they want to receive. Well, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And if you haven't already, click on my logo over here to subscribe. Here is a playlist of nickel hunts, and here is a different playlist of loonie hunts. Until next time, thanks for watching.